Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the kitchen. Today, we're going to be cooking up a few reasons as to why the Democrats lost this election so badly. Now, there's various reasons, there's a ton of them, but today we're going to pinpoint just four main reasons that I have put together that thoroughly explain how they lost this election so badly, because I don't think they ever thought that they could lose. Like, I genuinely think that they got so cocky that they had so much control over the media, over the narrative and everything. Just the delivery of information and everything had been so much in their control that they just assumed, like, we're unstoppable, like there's no way we can be beat because everybody's on our side. But that cockiness turned out to be their downfall, because this was the most historic loss that we've had for the Democrats in a really long time. They lost basically everything overnight. It was insane. So let's go over some of these reasons, shall we? So the first and main reason that I'm going to point out as to why the Democrats lost so bad is because they are liars. But that's not enough, because all politicians are liars. Democrats, Republicans, independents, whoever. It doesn't matter who you are. If you are a politician, you are a liar by default. That is what you do. Your job is to convince us that you can or will perform all of the things that you should be doing or supposed to be doing as a public servant, and that's it. Whether or not you do it is completely irrelevant. Your job is to at least be able to convince people that you can, and then try to hold on to that position for as long as possible. Now, that may be a cynical view, but when you break it all down, it is what it is. You can either agree or disagree. That's totally fine. But it's not, like I said, it's not the fact that they are liars. That's not really the issue. It is the fact that they are really bad at lying. These are the type of people that will walk directly in front of you, in your direct line of sight, punch you directly in the face, and then proceed to explain to you how that did not happen. This is how bad they are at lying. They will literally air some kind of rally or something with Donald Trump, have him say very specific words, and then immediately get onto their platforms and then say, he literally said this thing, and it's a complete utter fabrication. Not even like oh, maybe we slightly twisted his words or something like that. They will literally just make something up. And because, like I said, they have had so much control over the information flow, the media, all these multi-billion-dollar companies are backing them, and also because they think that their voters are idiots who will never actually look anything up, they just flat out straight up lie. They don't try to obfuscate it. They don't try to, like, maybe they'll do some underhanded stuff like, cherry pick the clip or something like that. But otherwise, they don't make any effort to really hide the fact that they're lying. They are just that confident that their voters are that stupid that they don't need to. They got so cocky that they don't even go through the effort of trying to hide the fact that they're lying, because they're just like, yeah, the people who vote for us are morons. They don't know any better. And even if you provided them the proof, even if you had the proof available in front of you in your hand, they would actively deny it, because that's how dogmatic they are. They trust us unconditionally. So we don't have to tell the truth. They convince themselves that telling the truth is completely irrelevant. It's not even a part of the equation to be successful or to deliver information or news. It doesn't matter, because our voters don't care. They'll believe anything we say as long as we say it's to fight racism or sexism or anything. As long as it's for the greater good, it does not matter what we say, they'll believe it. So, they basically lost the ability to be able to lie effectively, because people who followed them are so dogmatic that it just didn't matter anymore, so they didn't waste their time anymore. But the one thing they forgot to factor in is the fact that the people who follow them religiously like that are actually kind of the minority. And most normal people will nod their head and kind of agree with a lot of the stuff that they hear as long as it aligns with their bias. But typically, if they're shown that the thing that they believe is incorrect, they'll typically be like, okay, well, yeah. But the Democrats made the mistake of thinking that every single human being is like that. And that's not true. Most reasonable people will look at a situation and see bullshit for what it is and call it out. And those are the people they lost the vote to. Those are the votes that they lost the most. The people who hadn't been paying attention this whole time, who have no skin in the game, who have no real, super mega alliance to one side or the other. They're just living their lives or whatever, but now they're starting to see things are starting to affect them. And now these people actually went out and looked. They're like, okay, my life is being affected now. Let me go out and look and see what's actually going on. And now that they've seen it, they're like, okay, yeah, this is bad. We need to do something about this. And they voted accordingly. But what they went out and saw was that Democrats just can't stop lying, and they weren't trustworthy. Every interview that Kamala did, when she talked about all of her policies and stuff like that, she just couldn't stop. She couldn't stop lying because she just thought it was working. But that's only the first reason. The second reason that the Democrats lost so badly is because they are overt hypocrites. Now, once again, we have a qualifying word there. They're overt hypocrites. It's not the fact that they were hypocrites, because once again, if you're a politician, you're probably a hypocrite. But they were overt hypocrites, which means they didn't hide it. They didn't bother hiding the fact that they're a hypocrite. Now, how are they hypocritical? Well, a lot of leftist viewpoints, a lot of leftist platforms, and a lot of leftist activism is literally fueled by hypocrisy in itself. For example, it isn't a coincidence that almost every single anti-racist person that I know, anybody who claims to be quote unquote anti-racist, tends to be some of the most racist people I've ever met. They are the most likely to say the most overtly racist things possible. They are the most likely to completely discriminate or judge people 100% based on their race, sex, or gender. Like they do it unapologetically. And it's not like just kind of a mistake or maybe just like a misstep or something, or maybe they just didn't realize. No, they are overtly hypocrites and they don't care. They will literally tell you that I will perform racist acts and I will encourage and endorse racism, pure concentrated racism, as long as the conditions are right. And they won't like say it out of their mouths, obviously, but every single behavior will push them in that direction. So let's go back to something basic, something simple. Let's say, for example, they saw a poster of a movie that took place in like early England or something like that, and 100% of the cast are just white English people. And they're just like, they'll look at that poster and be like, this is bad. This is horrible. The fact that my eyes have laid upon such a terrible thing is disgusting, and my soul is being ripped from my body to see something so vile. The fact that there is exclusively white people here is the most disgusting thing I've ever witnessed, and only a monster would create something like this. Diversity is our power. We need diversity in order to exist, and without it, every movie is completely worthless. Everything needs to be diverse, right? They'll see that and they'll stand on that platform, they'll fight for it, and for the next 6 months, it's all they'll talk about. Now let the next Black Panther movie come out, and then what happens? They look at this cast, they look at this poster with 99.9% black people in it, and they say, this is great. This is absolutely wonderful. The best thing I've ever seen in my life. It is about time that you disgusting white people step aside and let these superior people finally shine. Black is power. Black is beautiful. Black is wonderful. 100%, absolutely. If you don't like it, you're just a fucking racist, right? Now think about that for a moment. Just let that marinate. Diversity is power. Diversity is key. We need movies that represent what America represents, that shows a variety of faces. Unless those faces are black, unless those faces are female, unless those faces are LGBT, unless those faces are Asian, then it's 100% fine for the movie to be exclusively them, because now diversity is irrelevant. And this permeates through literally everything they believe in. If they see a picture with all males in a business, like they take a business picture, all the CEOs are male, absolutely disgusting. They're all female, greatest thing I've ever seen. Like they are, and they don't, like I said, they don't hide it. They are 100% overt about their hypocrisy. They don't care. And if you point that out to them, they'll just brush it up. Well, that's different. It's different when we display obvious forms of racism, sexism, and exclusionary practices. It's fine. It's so unbelievably blatant. Like, I don't see how anybody cannot see this. It's so completely obvious. And like I said, for the dogmatic people on the left who will follow literally anything that, you know, the Democrats or the leftists say that they should follow, whatever, they just completely ignore it. They don't say anything about it. They won't say anything about it because, once again, their political party has basically become a full-blown religion, and it is sacrilegious to disagree with them. It's like you will be exiled. You're not allowed to be in this group anymore if you don't have the same groupthink as we have. Which actually leads us into our next point, and this is a combination of the first two, and this is the fact that they are extremely divisive, and they carry the mantle or wave the flag of being the party of unity and peace and togetherness or whatever, but they are 100% overtly divisive. Like they go out of their way to make sure that they separate everybody into their own specific categories. They are constantly separating people by race, sex, gender, ethnicity, like whatever. They go out of their way to make sure they do that. And there's no greater example than what's going on right now because of the election results. Immediately, as soon as the election results came out and they found out that they lost, what was the first thing that they said? Oh, well, let's break this down into demographics so we can specifically look at the people who we can blame. Oh, black dudes? Yeah, they're stupid. They don't know any better. Of course they voted for it. Latinos, how dare you? How dare you? Latino men? Yeah, of course they're responsible for. Oh, and white women? Yeah, they're absolutely responsible. They don't see you as people. They do not see their voters as people. None of you are people. You're all demographics and groups and numbers. That's it. None of you are individuals. Not a single one of you has a thought of your own. They don't consider any of you capable of singular thought. If you are a black person, it doesn't matter where you come from, what you've experienced, what you grew up with, or whatever. If your skin is black and you are a person, then they have a list that's already been curated and designed for what you're supposed to think, how you're supposed to believe, and the way you're supposed to vote. And if you violate that in any way, then you are a traitor, you are stupid, or you are useless. Because the only useful people to them are people who fall in line for this existing list of things that they already know about you. So here, you are a black person, you're supposed to like this, and this. And the fact that you voted this way means that you're a bad black person because the Negroes that we trained behave like this. This is how they're supposed to behave. And if you're a woman, you're a female, you're supposed to like this, and this. These are the things that you are supposed to like because you are a woman. That is your job. And if you betray any of this, then clearly you're not a good woman, are you? Because women are this thing, they fit in this box, and that's it. Now, mind you, this is the same party that claims to be pushing that they want people to have freedom. They want people to be able to express themselves. Everybody should be who they want to be, unless it's inconvenient for us. This was the same problem that feminism had when feminism kind of got into its third wave, is they're like, we want women to do whatever they want. Every woman should have the right to do anything they want to do, unless it's something we don't want them to do, because that's a problem. So if you want to go ahead and raise a family by yourself or whatever, you want to be a stay-at-home mom, then you should do that. But remember, you're a bad woman if you do that. You're making us look bad, and you should be embarrassed if you do that. You're a pick-me. Every woman's body should be acceptable. All bodies should be acceptable. We should accept every woman exactly how they are, unless they're skinny, unless they have big boobs, or unless they're beautiful, because you're disgusting walking around like that, making all these ugly women feel really bad about their existence. You need to check yourself at the door and make sure that you understand your privilege, and the fact that you exist makes us miserable, you piece of shit. So remember that every time you look in the mirror and see how beautiful you are, the fact that you're actively physically hurting women who aren't. Yeah, like this, they are divisive by nature. Literally every single thing that they believe in, the entire foundation of leftist ideology, is completely saturated in division. 100%. It is the only thing that they know. And once again, like I said, if you're a part of the dogmatic left, the blue no matter who version of the left, then you're gonna fall in line. You're gonna see that type of behavior, and then although you're better natured, Although your better nature is telling you that what you're experiencing, what you're seeing, and what you're enabling is not good, the feeling of wanting to be accepted and also not be thrown into that basket of all the deplorables, into that basket of all the Nazis and the racists and the horrible people, you will just suck it up. And you'll be like, you know what? This is wrong. I don't really agree with it. I think it's kind of silly. I think they're blowing it out of proportion. But you know what? I'm going to keep waving this flag because I got to support my people no matter what, because that's how they trained me. And I don't want to betray them. I don't want them to think that their training went to a waste. So I'm going to keep playing the role and keep doing what I'm supposed to do as a woman, as a black person, as a Latino, as a insert whatever the hell you were supposed to be here. You got to keep playing that role. You don't want to step out of line or else your masters are going to smack you back into place. You see what I'm saying? But lastly, and I think the most important thing is they genuinely just don't understand the way people vote. Like they just don't understand. Now, anybody who's fighting for freedom, anybody who wants freedom and people to be able to do what they want, they're not fascists. You know, people who don't have that kind of fascist mindset can understand the fact that there are people who exist who will vote and make decisions based off of their specific scenarios. Like they understand that, but Democrats cannot grasp this concept. So there's a popular clip that came out on The View where Sunny, she was basically coming out talking about the Latinos and why the Latinos voted how they are, because she knows specifically why every singular Latino made a vote for whoever they voted for in America, because she knows all of them. Of course, here, check the list. It says Latino here. Here is all the things that they like and believe in.
Talk a lot about these different demographics and these assumptions of where they're going to go. Latinos in Texas, a district that's 97% Latino, went 75 percentage points for Donald Trump. Why?
Misogyny.
It's on the border. The border crisis is on their doorstep. And they were begging people to care about it for years.
Misogyny
we need to take some lessons.
That's what that was.
The lessons are not
Knock.
On a list. This is everything that Latinos are supposed to. So I know personally that every single one of them hates women, which is why they did it. It's misogyny and sexism and racism. Like that's it. That's the only reason it could be, because I know personally exactly who these people are and what they believe in. So instead of thinking about the fact that there's border issues, there's tons of other things that could be in place, they can't fathom that there could be any reason outside of the one they gave for somebody to vote. So for example, if you talk to 10 Trump supporters, you line them all up and you ask them all why they voted for Trump, you might get 10 different reasons. Completely divorced from anything you even possibly thought it could be. They'll say some shit you wouldn't even think of. Like, I didn't even think about it like that. But according to Democrats, when they talk about the stuff that, or the reason that they're voting for people, 9 times out of 10, they can't even give you a reason. They have no idea. Almost every Democrat, when you talk to them about why they were voting for Harris, 90% of the answers were, I'm supposed to do that. It's the right thing to do. They're not the opposite person. No legitimate reasoning or anything like that. Just, it's about time for a black woman to take over. Reasons with literally zero substance. Name me one thing that Kamala Harris has done. This was a popular question. Name me one accomplishment, just one. And 90% of people could not name a single thing that she has accomplished, but they are 150% sure that they are absolutely getting their vote because they just know that they're better. You can't name a single accomplishment, but you know for an absolute fact that they're better. Come on. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous, man. It is absolutely ridiculous. And like I'm saying, I'm not putting this out to say that the Republican Party does not have or embody any of these problems, because they do. But for some reason, a lot of right-wing people remained, or right-wing politicians remained politicians. They still understand that if you're gonna lie to people, you need to make it convincing. They still understand that if you're gonna be hypocritical, you gotta be covert about it. They still understand that if you're gonna be racist, you shouldn't be openly racist. Like, they still understand that. So they put on like this facade this kind of cloak that leads them to believe, or leads their voters to believe, that we got your best interest in mind, even if it might be shrouded in a little bit of dishonesty or deception or whatever. They tell you what you want to hear. And for the most part, when you see them actually enacting and putting stuff out, they give you the impression that they're actually trying to do that. But when it comes to Democrats, they're just like, no, our voters are idiots. They're stupid. They're uneducated. They don't know any better. They get all of their information from the radio. They'll never seek out facts or try to verify anything. They're dumb. We can tell them anything we want and they'll believe it. So like, who cares? But they learn the hard way that most common, normal people who are not in their camps care. And these people vote for all kinds of reasons. All kinds of reasons these people vote for. But once again, like I said, the Democrats have come to the conclusion that it was racism, it was sexism, it was black people's fault, it was white women's fault, it was all these other people's fault, except ours, because we can't fuck up. We can't be the reason. There's no way that it's our fault, because we're perfect, we're flawless, we are the good people, we are benevolent, and we are good in every semblance of the word. So how could we be incorrect? And that was their immediate downfall, because they forgot that everybody is not as dogmatic as their typical followers. And once other people started paying attention, once the economy at large started taking a hit and affecting normal people, and normal people started looking into this, they saw all the things that you ignored, they saw all the things you pretended didn't exist, and they saw all the things that the media was telling them that wasn't actually true. And as soon as they got their eyes open, you lost the election immediately, because you alienated those people. You pushed them away. The moment they came and they had questions, the moment they came to verify whether or not something they heard was true, the moment they came and even hinted at the fact that they might not be towing the line like they're supposed to be, what did you do? You kicked them out of the family. You stopped contacting them. You called them insert buzzword here, racist, sexist, whatever, to say that, and completely dismiss their concerns, no matter how legitimate, and you pushed them all away. You told men that you don't need them, which is the major vote that you lost. You've been telling men specifically that you don't need them for years. Men are worthless. Men are useless. What do we need men for? Men are stupid. They're childish. They're idiots. They're irredeemable. You spent years and years doing that, and all of a sudden now, when the election time is happy, you're like, what happened to the men's vote? Why couldn't we get those disgusting racist pieces of garbage to vote for us? I don't understand how we couldn't convince those racist, disgusting pieces of shit who are worthless waste of space, how we couldn't convince them to vote for us. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. Like I said, this was a long time coming. You guys literally set the stage for this, and it's about time that you got what's coming to you. Now, as a result, the pendulum's probably going to swing real far into the right direction. We're probably going to have to deal with a whole bunch of unnecessary bullshit that we might not have had to deal with going in the opposite direction now. And pretty soon I'm going to be talking about how the right's fucking up. But right now, spotlight's on you, because this is all on you. You did this. You handed them this victory. You gift wrapped it and you handed it right over to them. So now we got to deal with this for the next 4 years. So there you go. Hopefully you learned something, but judging from what I've been seeing, they didn't learn shit. They didn't learn anything. As a matter of fact, they're doubling and tripling down. So prepare for probably the next 12 years to be almost exclusively Republican rule, because as long as they keep alienating everybody, as long as they keep blaming everything on racism, sexism, and all that shit like that, as long as they keep saying that literally everybody who decides to vote outside of us is a piece of shit and not worth our time, okay, that's fine. Let them be a piece of shit and not worth your time. But guess what? Guess whose votes you're not getting? That's just how it works. That's the way the game is played. No longer can you walk around pretending to be the moral authority and shame people into doing what you want. It's not gonna work anymore. Sorry. So better luck next time. Get your shit together. And that's all I need to say on that topic. I know it was a little bit long-winded, but I had a whole lot to get out. Probably many more videos will be coming out on this channel coming soon. You guys let me know any topics that you may want me to talk about, any very specific things that you want me to cover. Definitely put that stuff down in the comment section below. You'll be hearing a lot from me, and I'll probably be taking a lot of your suggestions suggestions for topics in the future. And as usual, if you cannot stand the heat, then stay the fuck out of the kitchen.